Absolute Wonder Woman issue 1. I had zero ambition to read this comic. But this is one of those ones where I gotta say I'm glad that I was proved wrong. This is the Wes Craig cover, and it took me and I was like, I know that name, I know that name. And then I realized that he was the artist during, what was that book? Diddley Class. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I got this cover. But I will say this. In addition to having this variant cover, I really am glad that they kept the original cover inside to show what the A cover looks like. So that's cool. One thing that I'm going to say right off the bat that irks my Girk about DC is their marketing slogan. So maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen all in so many times through the years. It's like, well, why weren't you guys all in the last time? And the one that makes me laugh the most. So this is a $5 book, right? I remember early 2000s, like 2013ish, I think, when, what was it? Blackest Nights came out, and they had the promo posters, and it said, draw on the line at $2.99. No, you ain't. So how long is DC going to be all in on the Absolute universe? But anyway, both covers are beautiful. Love this just rampaging look of Diana there. And you kind of get the more her flying. I think this character is called Pegasus. I think it's the name of her demon horse. And you're wondering, why demon horse? So one thing I'm a little concerned about, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this. I like the different take because Diana, I do feel like sometimes Wonder Woman does kind of need a major revamp because of all the times her comics been reprinted along with Aquaman. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I haven't had enough coffee today. Well, let's get into it, and I'll explain it along the way, and I'm sure my thought will come back. So we open up on kind of like a, not a postcard. What is this, like when you go to motels and it gives you brochures of where you're at? So Gateway City. So it's an interesting way to bring you in, and you just kind of start hearing this. And we open up on these newscasters stuck in on the side of this building. And they're like, what was that? You think I know? I'm on the ground with you, Alan. We have to look. You first, you have the camera. You absolute coward. Is that news? Do you see it? Is that thing still out there? Give me a minute. Now, coming from a TV news background, I get that they're trying to show I can't remember the name of the cable that goes to the camera, but where's the live truck? You can't just go and all of a sudden be live on the scene. So that must be one hell of a cable to get to the truck to where he's at. So for those of you that have worked in news, let me know if I'm wrong, but I just, all the things like, we're here just beyond the Gateway City boardwalk, filming from an unsecured location to bring you the sight of a literal unidentified flying object to our doorstep. Local police and growing military force are evacuating immediately. And so this triangle thing starts letting out all these demons, and the artwork's not too bad. I mean, I feel like the character, like these faces could have been done a little bit better, but overall, this artwork's serviceable, so I'll give it that. And then all of a sudden, nice dynamic panel of this character flying in on this bony horse from hell and just slashing through these demons, just one at a time, like so much tissue paper. Once upon a time, there was a princess, and the princess had the gifts any princess could hope to have: beauty, grace, compassion, kindness, wisdom. So I love how we get this kind of juxtaposition of what a princess should have, and she's removing her helmet, dipping her hands in the blood of her enemies, and spreading it across her face. And then we don't know what she's saying here, and it says the ability to outrun a hellhound and conjure the darkness of magics. These things every princess needs when she was raised in hell. So you're thinking, wait, what? Diana was raised in Themyscira. So you're thinking, what are we going to do with Wonder Woman? Now, I think I finally got my thought back. I'm a little concerned about the Absolute Universe because it's a nice, fresh take, don't get me wrong. But if we remember way, way back in the original Ultimate run, not so much Ultimate Spider-Man, but like the Ultimates, which was the Avengers, and Ultimate X-Men, they were really super edgy, like more than like the 90s. And it was kind of cool for a minute, and then it started to kind of peter out. So I'm hoping that if they're going to keep the Absolute Universe around, which is supposed to be DC's Ultimate version, I'm hoping that they can keep some happy balance instead of going too far of extremes. Because when that happens, things start to peter out really fast. So this is Kelly Thompson, writer, Hayden Sherman, artist, Jordi Belair is the colorist, which is awesome. Becca Carey doing the lettering, Ash Padilla, the assistant editor, Chris Conroy doing the editing. There's all, of course, your mandatory, what is that called? Variant covers. Well, what do you do? But I do glad that they put Wonder Woman created by William Moulton Marston. That's appreciated. At least give credit where credit's due. And we will eventually go over Absolute Superman as well. So it says, years ago, the Wild Isle of Hell, prison of the great sorceress Circe. Now, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about Circe. If you guys can kind of refresh me down in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. But it looks kind of like what's Wonder Woman's mother, Hippolyta. The artwork here is really nice. It's serviceable, and it's a lot better than the way that this reads for me, and the artwork is so much better than Kelly Thompson's run on Scarlet from the, what is this thing called, the Skybound universe. That was kind of, yeah, but this one works in just a great way. So I love that Circe here looks just like how Hippolyta looked when she molded Wonder Woman from clay. It says, once I ruled a remote paradise called, of course I'm going to slaughter this, Aia, I think is how you pronounce it. Now I'm a prisoner of a solitary wasteland. Never let it be said that the gods do not have a sharp sense of humor. What in Hecate's name? Never thought I'd be unhappy to see the sun here. But instead of her molding a daughter like Hippolyta did, Apollo comes. You may kneel. I'm fine. Defiant even in hell, you see. I lean into my strengths. Perhaps it is what got you here. Perhaps this is yours now. Mine? This is a baby. Why have you brought a baby to hell? And just the blood stain, just to kind of give it sort of a birthing symbolism. Interesting, but this daughter being born in hell. This baby is Diana, Princess of Themyscira. She is the last of the Amazons, and she has been taken from them by my father Zeus's punishment for their crimes against the gods. Her home is now hell. You are her warden. And then he says, from here forth, the word Amazon is banned. So I decree. Apollo says, try it for me, Circe. Try to say the word. I want to see. So should I say Amazon? And it's interesting how they just kind of blurt it out. It's like, okay, interesting. But it at least gives you an idea of why Wonder Woman is where she is. And then you're thinking, what the hell is different from Themyscira being this lushful, wonderful place? What did the Amazons do? Which I hope they explore. Like, I hope that's just not, I haven't read the rest of the issues, so I'm hoping that they kind of expound on that, because that's an interesting arc in and of itself. But the baby, she basically says that I was going to just see if what happened with the baby. I don't really care, and neither does Apollo or Zeus. They said the baby's just here, and that at the Amazons, what do you call it? Price of their sins, essentially. And so we just see him looking at this little dragon, and he, bah, no. But then you're thinking, is the baby going to smash this thing? But instead she shows compassion. She's going to learn the hard way with that one. So singe off all her hair next time. And so we kind of get these interesting panels of Diana growing up and how she's watching Circe. And this, what hit for me is because I'm a dad. It says, plenty of things tried to kill her, us. But there is no overwhelming force of creatures bent on her destruction as I feared. And she had a quality that softened even the most treacherous beasts. And I don't just mean all the little creatures and demons and lost souls that drifted to her. How you fall in love with a child is by raising it. It's true, because anybody can birth a kid, but raising it is how you grow together. And so you start to see, as these time lapses happen, he starts to call her Mom, Mother. There's a word. Yes. Do you know this word? What is it? You haven't said it. I'm not sure it's real. It's real if you say it. Perhaps. And so you come to find out what that word is. But I love how this demon comes, and Diana's a teenager now. She goes, be reasonable. You don't have to die today. And so in this sense, I feel, I'm not sure if this was what DC did, but I very much feel a nod to Ileana. It's like Circe is kind of like the Doctor Strange, and Wonder Woman is Ileana. Because if you all remember, Ileana back in the day was sent to Limbo as a little kid, and she spent years there being trained by an alternate version of Storm, where she became a witch. And when Eliana came back to the New Mutant, she's struggling with the demonness inside her. The Wild Child is how they call her, but she becomes the Sorceress Supreme of Limbo. And so I see a lot of points there, and it's an interesting way to take Diana, who is full of compassion, and as we saw, even as a baby with that little creature. So it's interesting to see how she's then raised in hell. So even though she's this hardened Amazon, essentially, she still has a heart. Are you in charge here, soldier? That's a no. Where's your superior? Thank you. You should evacuate all civilians within a mile. They are not dead. They are only stunned, and they're not what's coming. They are but harbingers for what is to come. You are not welcome, Harbinger Prime. This world will defend itself. I stand before you with the mythical Athena blade, forged by Theseus himself. It is more than capable of sending you to your maker. Go back to wherever you came from and tell whatever herald that you are mistaken. This world is predicted. And then we just get badass battle with Wonder Woman. All these great panels. The artwork's different. The faces I had to kind of get used to, but it's okay. It's very dynamic. And I just love these moments where we're seeing how strong she is and how she was finally raised by Cirque to kind of become compassionate but strong. She goes, Mother, I must ask you about this word again. I thought you might. It's important. It is. I'm afraid. My girl fears so little, but I am afraid. You're not afraid of a word. You're afraid of the change, saying it will break. How can I know a word without ever hearing it? How can it beat in my chest so powerfully without knowing what it means? Say the word, Diana. Say it and know what you are. So, of course, spoiler alert, she says Amazon. Basically claims her heritage and realizing that even though Apollo put that curse on Cirque, it doesn't apply to Diana. So how is that going to change the dynamic? And what type of paradigm shift are we going to see? I'm hooked. I want to read Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman #2. I like that they've kind of taken her out of even during the New 52, they tried to make it a little edgier, but she was still the Wonder Woman of Themyscira. So in this universe, essentially taking that away from her and making her fight for it again and claiming the world is hers to defend, along with being this powerful sorceress raised by Cirque. I'm hooked. It's a great idea. This is the Kelly Thompson writing that I know from Rogue and Gambit. Scarlet was okay, but it was a little too cutesy. We've gone over that, so I'll make sure to leave a card in this review. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or where there's a to get your action figures and comics and grab this series. It is really entertaining. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate taking a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you can possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Apollo bell, next subscribe. That way I can upload content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel. And I love talking with you on hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading and happy hunting, everyone.